Welcome to Dare to Dream. I'm your host, Graham Williamson, and the show today is quite interesting. But what you feel? Oh, yeah. The terminology is slightly different. What you feel. It's about energy. But I'm going to start again because I am so hyper. My energy is off the chart. And this is about what I'm going to talk about. It's about defining your energy, what you feel. As I say, this show, Dare to Dream, I'm Graham Williamson. I'm an international intuitive, evidential medium and psychic. I've been doing this since I was about 3.5. So I wanted to come to America, do this, and start helping other people. So if I can help you, contact me. You can do it by email, amedium77@gmail.com. Send me a text message through the email. Or you can call me on 352-409-1060 and leave a voice message. I live in Florida, USA, and if you live over here, you know all the crank calls. So if you don't leave a message, I won't be able to know which is a genuine caller asking for guidance. Because I love helping people. And that's why I wanted to do the show about what you feel. And defining that energy that you feel. Now, as I was trying to say, I've been doing this since I was about 3.5. I saw fairies at the bottom of my garden, my grandparents' house. And when I went to school at 4, people were saying, you're weird. And I went home very depressed. My grandmother sat me down and she put a glass of water in front of me and a candle behind it. She said, well, what do you see? She said, a glass of water, candle, Nana. She said, yeah. She said, right, now come to this side. And what do you see? Glass of water and a candle. She said, yeah. Same thing, different viewpoint. But what's that got to do with energy? Well, when you can feel something, other people may not be able to, or not be able to define it. But what you feel is more important. What you see, what you hear, what you taste, what you smell, all your 6 senses, all working together. I call it seeing. Just a bit of what I see, have, feeling, etc. But if I say, what am I seeing? It means everything. Because I don't want to keep on repeating myself on stuff. And people go, what did you say? No. So I'll just say what I see. What I see 95% of the time when I'm out in town, walking, riding even in the car, and stopping at the traffic lights. I can feel people when they're looking at me. I can feel people, well, my wife will tell you, she is fed up with people looking at her when she comes into the room because her energy is so strong. My energy is so strong. We just did an event in St. Augustine, Saturday and Sunday. And people were going around, it's a spiritual event, as well as vendors selling various merchandise. And people kept coming up to us and saying, we don't know why we're here talking to you, or this table. My wife, Sandy, she makes all these bracelets and, she makes them all. She does that while I do mediumship. And people said, you two, your energy's off the chart. I go, what? We're just having fun. We enjoy helping people. My wife makes some beautiful stuff, but it's her heart and soul that goes into every single thing she makes. And people are coming around thinking, something over there. I don't know what it is. Let's go and find out what it is. We're not saying it, come on over or anything like that. We're just sitting there In fact, half the time, when there's nobody there for reading or purchasing, we're chit-chatting to ourselves or next vendors. And it's people actually saying, we don't know why we're here, why we want to come over here. And you see my sign that says medium, etc. And you see my wife's display. And I go, what is it about you? One woman, in fact, it's a bit of a laugh. Many years ago, I went to a movie and we asked for tickets. And the guy behind the desk says, "Sir, all due respect," he says, "but if you come on Wednesday, it's cheaper for old age pensioners." I burst out laughing. I just couldn't hold it. I said to Sandy, my wife, I says, "Did you hear what he just said? If I come here, it's cheaper for old age pensioners." And they go, "Oh, sorry, I just felt." I said, "Don't worry about it, young man." I said, "We're not bothered." In fact, my wife says I'm looking older than her, and she looks a lot younger than she really is. And at the St. Augustine event, this lady came up to us, and Sandy had just gone off seeing a client or something. And this lady said, "Excuse me, how old are you? 45, 50? Where's Sandy? Hey, Sandy, you need to listen to this. Somebody thinks I'm younger." She says, "You feel so vibrant, so energetic." I said, "Well, I'm 69. She said, "Nah." She said, "No, I feel that you're 69. 65. 55. I'm tongue-tied because I'm laughing so much at somebody thinking I am in my 55. Nobody's ever said that to me. She thought 40, 45, 50, then settled at 55. I was chuffed as a sponge. I was actually stunned for the first time in a long time. I say I can't even get the words out because I was so stunned. You see, people have forgotten how to feel, how to listen to themselves. Whatever comes into their energy, their auric field, that energy extends from beyond the skin, the physical, and it can reach yards away from you. You can't even reach the edge of it if you're hyper or extremely sensitive. You've often been to places where you feel a bit awful. Hey, you've got great attitude. And you're just sitting there, not saying anything. Something triggers within them. Normally it's this I'm going to lower my camera a bit. It's this area, the gut area, just below the sternum. And that is my third eye connection. I can feel so many things happening. And it triggers in my memory, which is why I say it's the third eye connection. It triggers in my memory things that have happened to me in the past. I don't really listen to the future aspects. It happens, but I've learned how to live with it. But the past, definitely. All these memories I have. And I feel comfortable or I don't feel comfortable. People have forgotten how to feel comfortable within themselves. This part, the brain, the ego, steps in. Oh, I can't say that because of this. Oh, I can't say that because of that. And they keep on going on and on and on and on. Heck no. I quit, pardon the term, and some of the people who know me well when I say, I quit thinking years ago. But I have to think it's for a specific material aspect. Because I am a spirit having a human experience and I have to take note. But when I'm working for and with spirit and helping others, I don't really think. Because what I feel from what is stirred in my memory I convey to the recipients. But you have to learn about what you feel first before you involve anybody else or thinking about anybody else. You know, I'm just telling Cece, I had a wonderful lady, I'm not going to mention names, who came into St. Augustine, and she's dying. She had 6 months to live. That's what she told me. And of course she came in and she was as miserable as anything. And I face it. Well, in the 15 minutes that we were together, from somebody you could palpably, I can't even say the word, you could physically feel the depression, the switching off, the running down of her energy. And because I wasn't thinking and trusting spirit, I said things to this lady. After which, the 15 minutes, she had a friend, an acquaintance with her. She said, can you go to the car and sort of get me a change of clothes? I've actually done something in my clothing and I need to go and change. He made me laugh so much I couldn't hold it in. She was laughing. From extremely down to laughing so much she had no control of her bladder. She wasn't embarrassed or anything like that at all. And just before this incident, I actually said to her, would you do me a favour? You know, when you pass, please don't haunt me. And she looked at me, she got a grin in her eyes. She says, Graham, I'll make you a promise. So what's that? I will haunt you. And she was laughing, so that's when she had a lack of control. But you see, I felt that energy coming from her, which was extremely sad and there's no hope and everything. I also told her, you know, if you've got 6 months to live and you know that the diagnosis is pretty good and you've got a ton of money and you're on your own, have you done your bucket list yet? She said, no. I said, why not? Why didn't you go and do your bucket list? She says, that feels a good idea. I says, as long as you can, go. She says, where do you live? I said, I'm not telling you. But you see, if you respond from here, from your sternum, your guts, you could help not only yourself, but anybody. Do you want to help anybody? Do you want to help yourself? Because what you feel is important. You can't be held back by other people's opinions and actions. And I know I've seen abuse people, I've seen addiction, I've seen all sorts. I'm a recovered alcoholic. I'm not proud of it, but I faced it. I haven't had a drink at all for over 22 years now. It's not something I'm proud of. It's a simple fact, I don't need it. I wanted to feel consciously and subconsciously my body, my persona, everything without impairment. Because what I feel, I know. When somebody comes into my auric field, it triggers what I know of myself. But if it's something that I had an injury on my foot or my neck or my head or whatever it was I've experienced, it suddenly my memory is suddenly kicked by spirit, by psychic as well. Because remember, the psychic is of the physical. It's not spirit saying, oh, this and that and the other. No. Psychic is material. Everybody's a psychic to a degree, but not everybody's a medium. You have to raise your energy. And that's all because you listen to how you feel. I'm swallowing up because I'm trying to slow down what Spirit is trying to get me to say. Because my shows are run by spirit. They've asked me to be their spokesperson because each heading has a reason for existing. You have a reason for being here listening. I want you to think how you feel when you go into a new place or meet somebody new or something new enters your field. Because you have to know what you truly feel before you go into something like that. I've been into houses and I've walked straight out. I've been into some other houses and I've loved it. I rented a place many years ago before I was first married, and there was a ghost in there, and he was an old miner. He took possession of my fiancée at the time, and I had to help her out. But when I found out why this spirit did what he did, he didn't believe that he was dead. And I felt this. And I got information, and I helped put this gentleman at peace by showing him the light of God. That's where I turned. You see, when you feel something and you ignore it, you can get yourself into a whole lot of trouble or situation that you can't get out of. When you meet somebody, how do you feel? You see, I've met so many people. One of the places I was in was the Navy, and I used to have 2,500 people 4 times a day. I didn't know 99.9% of the people's names. It's just impossible for me. But I remember faces. And this is what got me through doing 14.5 years in the Navy. Listening to spirit, activating my memory by stirring my solar plexus, my gut reaction. When I felt this go, memory comes up, okay, let's get the heck out of here, or let's do this. I've actually located a friend who took my ship in the Falklands. I never saw him again when he went to war, physically. But when I went down after the war, I was fortunate enough to go down. I took a wreath for him, stood on the beach near to where the ship had gone down. And I saw him, plain as day. I felt him. And I passed information on to officials. I got told off for diving in the war wreck. I said, no. I've got a lot of witnesses. I was on the shore. And I said, that's where the ship is over there, in the water over there. And he's at such and such a part of the ship. Not where he obviously should have been. He was obviously doing procedure for war. But you see, I've always reacted to my guts, what I felt there and then. One of my friends is having to move and almost got herself into stress situation. But she listened to her guts. And at the last minute went, nah. And somebody came along and helped her out. You see, she listened to how she felt. She knew something was wrong, didn't know what it was. But I'm proud of it that she actually listened. She felt it, worked it through, and stopped going the wrong way. Life's too hard as it is. We're all, as I said, spirit having a human existence. But do you want to make it a hard one? I know how I feel about that one. No thanks. I don't want a hard life. I don't want to go backwards, learning and relearning every time something goes wrong because I failed to listen to my guts. I failed to see, I failed to hear, and all the rest of it. Because life is simple, but people screw it up because this overrides the guts. One of the clients that came to the event, my wife had made some pendulum boards for scrying, and that means yes, no, maybe, rephrase the question with a pen over the board with those words on it. And they're mirrored. Yes, yes, no, no, rephrase, whatever. And this young girl was so keen to learn. I said, and she's looking down, holding the pen, and she's going like this. She's asking her questions. It's not working. I said, do it this way. Orientate it, lift your head up, ask a question, look down. And it was moving, yes. It was moving, maybe. It was moving, whatever question she asked. I said, rephrase. So she did. She said, I can feel it. I can feel when it's doing something. I said, when you look at it, you want it to move. When you don't look at it, it'll work itself. The energy will flow through you. You can feel it. It feels right. And this young girl's mum comes and says, what are you doing? She says, I'm making this pendulum work. No, she says, I'm seeing how this pendulum works. And it feels great. The mother says, you've never done that before. I said, do you want to try it, Mum? She did. She said, I have never known how this works. So I showed her like I did her daughter. She said, this doesn't feel evil at all. I said, what do you mean evil? Oh, we're told all about this stuff. I went, well, how do you feel? You see, I'm inquisitive. I'm nosy. I want to learn. I want to understand. And the more I understand, the more I understand how I feel about a situation. This lady was absolutely stunned that her daughter wanted to use a pendant over scribe. And at first, whoa, they went, hang on. You see, it's those little tweaks that you get. Those little, you don't feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, take a step back. Retry it. Still don't, just leave it. Put a limitation on yourself. What works for you? I'm just giving you a broad outline because every single person does their own thing. We are individuals, people. I don't want anybody following me exactly. That'll be a very difficult thing to do because I'm not an exact person. I am very spontaneous. My wife calls me the comedic medium. A comedian, as one of the clients said this weekend. Comedian. Medium. And it's all these things make me laugh because my energy could be the same as yours. But I don't hold it in. I don't trap it. I don't ignore it. I don't say, no, it's impossible. I want to learn. Do you want to learn? Do you want to learn about your gifts? I'd love to teach people how to do something in broad. So I'm not going to say this is the only way to do this. Before I do my show, I always set limitation and boundaries. I always, at least 15 minutes before anything to do with spirit. Because my intention is to help you. And if you want that help, just by being here and you see what I'm sharing with you, you can always come back by email, amedium77@gmail.com, or phone Florida, USA, 352-409-1060. Leave a voice message. Because let's get another way. Another way of feeling is clairsentient. An object, whatever it is, can hold memory by the energy that is from a person or animal or whatever, any living creature. And I mean any. Even a worm and whatever. They all have energy. Everything has energy. But the living things is what I'm on about. And that energy can touch yours, that auric field. It can tweak it. And when you actually listen to that, see it, all those things happening. You can work with it. You can define it. This weekend was a really good one, but I had a lady, and I don't normally get names or species of horses or whatever it is. I'll say small, whatever. But this time I got a white bird with a red crest who couldn't fly properly. And I went, it must be a parrot or that type of bird. This girl's face. How do you know about that? I said, well, it's here. It's saying thank you for helping me fly. You couldn't fly it itself. You helped it have the sensation, how it felt when it was flying. You reminded it. You cared for it that much. Your compassion helped that bird before it passed. She said, I didn't think I was doing it right. She said, I felt terrible when he passed. And I was thinking about it for so long and all this. I said, you know why you're thinking about it? It's because the parrot's coming around saying, thank you. But you're just thinking about it. You don't say what you felt, what you feel. Because all of this is up here. Until you share it, you speak. Because when you speak, you give voice, you give empowerment. Every one of us has an ability to empower not only ourselves, but other people by sharing. Now, that sharing, for me, love, empathy, compassion, peace, harmony, security, all the things on top of that I think are positive. But adversely, you can feel, like my lady who was only 6 months ago, I felt all the sad stuff. But I refused to stay in the sad situation. And as a medium, my job, my role, when I'm with a recipient, phone, media, face, letter, whatever, is to lift their energy, to make them feel more positive. Anybody can make somebody positive or negative. But what do you want to leave as a memory of all those that love you? Always a pain in the neck, or hey, he was always smiling, always laughing. Yeah, I got a nickname in a company I worked for 17 years. That Graham. Sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? But no. The CEO of the company at the time actually met me after me interrupting his speech at a function I was at. Our table was on a laugh, and he said, too much noise on that table. I said, you're just jealous, you're not at our table. He quit, joined our table for the rest of the function. Went back. 3 months later, I found out people heard about me. That Graham. They felt comfortable. They said, we don't know what it is you did to him. But he said, don't mess with him. He'll tell you how he feels. And I was respected. I may not be liked, but I was respected. I got away with a lot because I thought of the other person's predicament, or situation, or the empathy I had for them overwhelmed anything else. I love to, as I said, make people happy. If I can make you laugh inside with your heart, there's no better reward. You see, how you feel affects anybody that comes near you, on the phone, video, whatever. You can feel it. Don't ignore your guts, because you've got a limited time on this earth. And most of us don't know when we're going to pass. But I know the only thing you can take with you is the love and memory you've accrued in your lifetime? Are you proud in a good way of what you've done for others and yourself? What do you feel about other people? How do you feel for other people? Do you take time to look after yourself and make yourself feel better? And that, to me, as I said, it used to be drink, it's not anymore. Going out in the garden and watching the ants or listening to the birds. In Florida, we have quite a good variety of nature. Planting stuff in the garden, weeding, taking my dog for a walk, bathing and making stuff for my trailer. You see, I feel very busy, but I'm not. I'm enjoying feeling. Are you enjoying what you feel from your guts? Is your heart full? Mine isn't. I've got a heart that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's never full enough because I want to feel everything that's positive, which is not a pipe dream. It's not a make-believe. From what I was to what I am now, it's a 180-degree turnaround. Being moronic, selfish, drunk, stupid, idiotic. I went through all that. Now I can say to someone, I know exactly how you feel. I can see how you feel. I can hear how you feel. I helped a veteran once who'd been to Vietnam, and all he ever thought about whenever he put his hat, Vietnam veteran, was sadness of what he'd done. They had to kill somebody, a group of people who'd been killing other people. I turned it around and said, hang on a minute. You're telling me you're upset having to kill somebody off unofficially? I said, yeah. I said, so you stopped these murderers, rape, pillage, and all the rest of it that they were doing to villages around where you work. You stopped them, you killed them, yeah? So you stopped further murders. You stopped pillaging. You stopped all this stuff. So, I never felt that. He says, you've just said everything the opposite to what I thought and what I felt. A week later, he came back into the place where I'd done the reading with a lady. She said, are you ground? Yeah. Give me a kiss on both cheeks. She said, I got my husband back. I said, who's your husband? A Vietnam veteran. Now he just wears a veteran hat. He put his Vietnam veteran hat on the wall and just wears his army veteran. Simple. I could feel his anguish. I could feel his pain, his sadness. But he lived in it. I didn't want him to live there anymore. Spirit helped me guide him. I said, hey, hang on a minute. If you hadn't done what you did, two wrongs don't make a right. But he was put there to do the service for other people that he didn't know. He was there fighting a war. And most of us know a lot about Vietnam anyway. I've been here since 1954, so I know a bit about Vietnam. I never served in it. I heard enough. And to make this man love his wife wholly because he didn't have this stigma of what he felt. All these stories, my friends, are factual. You can feel whether I'm telling the truth or not. I can't sway you either way. But I don't know you. I know me. I made a promise to Spirit, to my grandparents, to my mother, my father, and all those people I meet. I'm not going to dishonour this connection I have helped learn about with their help. I feel everything that I possibly could. And I have to say, hang on, I need to turn it down a bit or can add some more. Because we are finite on this earth, not infinite. Our spirits are infinite, but our physical is finite. I want you to feel positive. I want you to know what being positive is, what it's about. You have a wonderful opportunity. And if it wasn't for goingboldmedia.com, Going Bold Wednesday, I won't be able to pass this message on. Because I feel honoured that I'm here. For some reason, I'm here every 2 weeks doing a different show. Sometimes they're recorded before, I'm not able to do a live show. But there's always a reason for that. It's out of our hands sometimes. And I feel very comfortable about it. Seriously. Because CC, my boss of the show, the creator of all this, is an honourable woman. I feel she's my friend. I know who she is. And all the other show hosts. You see, we all have a choice of coming into this world to live the best life we can, to do everything for other people, you. We don't know exactly what it is you're going through, but some of us have been there. We know what you feel. We've been there. And we want to tell you, you are not alone. You don't have to carry any burden on your own. Emotional burden in your heart. We're not here to do the impossible. We've got very good ears. We've got knowledge. We've got experience. But Going Bold Media it used to be Going Solo Media. I went on my own years ago. I stepped away from a lot of things. But I've never had more friends around me because I said, no, or yeah, what I felt mattered with you. If I like you, I like you. If I don't, sorry, I'll walk away. Or you can walk away. I don't care. I quit caring what people think of me. I only care what I can give you, my highest and best. This, what you feel, is important, but it's your interpretation as well as my interpretation. And hopefully we can meet. Not a headbutt, but meet. You're an individual, I am. We can meet. We can exchange thoughts and feelings. What I feel is happy. And what's the time now? Oh, cracky. The other thing I want to point out is what you feel is not false. You may not understand it. You may not even acknowledge it as factual. But because of the psychic ability every one of us have, your body your energy will feel something, positive or negative. Now remember, the word negative isn't evil. It's just it doesn't agree with your viewpoint at that time, at that moment. There is evil. There is good. But it's not always good and it's not always evil. It's how you deal with it. That's why I quit worrying about what people think of me. Because so many people, oh, you did it wrong. Or your boundaries are wrong. You don't speak the way we do, so you're wrong. You're evil. You shouldn't be doing that. Helping people honor themselves isn't wrong. I don't care what nation you come from. I was born in England. I've lived in America 22 years. My mother was born in America and lived all but 4.5 years in England. She was born in America. Never became a British subject. So I have had both sides, my mum's side and my side, of experience living in another country. This is my home. This feels like a home. I've moved so many times before I came here 22 years ago. I didn't know what a home was. A house, a temporary, I'll be moving in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, a couple of years. I moved so many times, I lost track. I think my suitcases became balls. Round, no edges, no corners, I should say. Because I was always moving. I mean, I learned how to pack a chest freezer on warships to carry limited food for a limited time for a limited number of people. If I didn't pack that freezer correctly, somebody would go without food. That was just not acceptable. I learned how to make it, it's almost like Tetris with food in a freezer. My daughter, the one who's just gone back to England, she lived up in Minnesota and she had a lot of stuff that had to go into a small storage unit below her flat. She said, it would not go there. I took one look. I said, yeah, I'll leave a gap all the way around like this so air can breathe. And you'll get all the stuff that you need at the front and all the stuff you don't use at the back. But it'll all be up. I did it. I mean, she said, how do you do it? I said, I don't know. I learnt how to do it. I feel this is how it's going to go. I responded to it. I can pack suitcases really well. If you want £40 in a suitcase or £50 in a suitcase, I'll do it. I'll be about £2 out. Under, normally. How? Because it's what I feel. It feels comfortable or it doesn't. I pick it up. Feels right. You see, you're doing it all the time in your lives. Feeling. But are you taking notice of what you are feeling, my friends? Here. In your guts. I'm sorry about my little dog wandering around. But this is what life's about. Trusting what you feel. If you don't trust it, step back, leave, stop, whatever. If you love what you feel, go for it. But don't think it. Feel it. Don't let your ego take over. Do you love somebody so much that if they come up to you and said, I want to leave, that you'd let them? Think about it. You love them that much, you wouldn't hold them back. It's not something you've done wrong or anything like that. It's just what do you feel? How do you feel? To what extent do you feel? I love this lady more than I've ever loved anybody in my entire life. All except my 2 kids that were born and my 2 stepchildren. I love them to pieces. But you see, I learnt to give unconditional. As I say, I've made mistakes. Don't make a mistake, my friends, by forgetting what you felt. Remember, you have a choice with what you feel and how you respond to it. But we're nearly finished. So I'm going to say thank you for watching. I'm coming to goingboldmedia.com on Going Bold Wednesday. And can I have my host information, please, CC? I'm your host of Dare to Dream, Graham Williamson, International Intuitive, Evidential Medium and Psychic. I'm here next, let's see, the date today is the 25th, so it will be, the 8th. The next show will be the 8th of November at 6 till 6:45. Hope you'll join us, but please contact me at amedium77@gmail.com. Send me a text or phone me, Florida, USA, 352-409-1060, and leave a voice message. I want to thank you deeply for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to Going Bold Media, because there's a lot of hosts with different themes behind it. And I'm sure you will find something that you need and have fun doing it. So, as your host, Graham Williamson of Dare to Dream, I wish you a wonderful evening, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. But don't forget to go to live WGSN-DB Facebook. We're on YouTube, LinkedIn, for more shows, Roku and Amazon TV. We've got a lot of people following us. We've got a lot of hosts. So I'm sure we can all connect beautifully.